Lessons in chemistry. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, lessons in chemistry. Already, as soon as you open the cover of this version, you can already see smart, uproarious, emotional, the Catherine II of early feminism. I'm devastated to have finished it, thought-provoked, and stylish. So, first of all, disclaimer, this book doesn't tell you about real chemistry, or at least the chemistry that you would probably not learn in school classes. Probably because the people, and rightfully, assume that everyone does not go ahead and understand chemistry or are chemistry majors. And yes, I put a sticker with my actual name on it, because why not? So yeah, all my private information is out there in the world now. Just go ahead, figure it out. Come get me. What you gonna do? Sell me? Anyways, lessons in chemistry. This book is about early feminism as well as chemistry, probably because of some reason. 1960s and style and 1960s feminist movement is a pretty good book story for the late 2020s. Correction, early 2020s. Apparently this was published in 2022 or 2021, sometime then. What do we learn in lessons in chemistry? First of all, before I even talk about any of that stuff, I gotta talk about the story. Now, the story goes ahead and talks about this chemist named Elizabeth Zott. She is a chemistry major, which she apparently got her degree at UCLA. She got her major's degree in UCLA, and she wanted to become a PhD. Unfortunately, she was kicked out of the doctorate program on one thing. She was sexually assaulted by her thesis advisor. Apparently, that thesis advisor had a long, big reputation of going ahead and sexually harassing women at the campus, with a long string of history of women leaving the campus itself. But what happened to Elizabeth Zott was a pretty big, unique one, mainly because she defended herself with what? A 2B pencil. She used a 2B pencil to go ahead and, well, stab the man in the hip. There was a bunch of blood going out, and there was only a little pink eraser tip sticking out of his body, and he was confused on what was happening. When he was shipped to when she was going ahead and sent to the hospital, Elizabeth Zott, was questioned by the police, and the people at the police were like, okay, no statement of regret. He did nothing wrong to you. Yeah, we don't care what he did. We care about what you did. You're the one who stabbed the pencil in him. And she's like, yeah, I have one regret. I did not stab the pencil deeper into him. She just says her mind blatantly, and I suppose that is what women should be doing more and more often nowadays. The police definitely didn't believe her on her story, and she definitely could not and was not in the right mind to tell everyone that they had a not in the right mind woman who was sexually assaulted. They did not really care about women who were sexually assaulted because their ideas of women were very low, very low. So what did she do? Next up, she went ahead and decided to go to Hastings Research Center, mainly because that was the only job application that she was offered. And as soon as she was offered that, she went ahead and started working and wanted to try abiogenesis. But then her advisor said, hey, I think this is a very stupid thing, and I think that this is not going to happen at all. Abiogenesis, that's PhD stuff. You wouldn't understand a bit of what abiogenesis is. Go do this lowly stuff. That's way lower than your level. But just right for a master's person. Not right for a master's person. So she was always sent to do the most grueling work. No groundbreaking stuff, just stuff that, well, anyone could do. Like, even someone who just graduated college could have probably done it. And she used her chemical knowledge to do everything, and a right to do all the things that she could do. But eventually one day she was fired from Hastings Research Center for several reasons. We start off the book with after she was fired and being sent to the television show Supper at 6, but that will, for some reason, they roll back to time to about a decade before that, and then they start telling about the story of Elizabeth Zott, how she was sexually assaulted, everything, how she met this charismatic Calvin Evans by coincidentally stealing his beakers, because she was not getting given her supplies, mainly because she was a woman and they didn't care about a woman's side project, that kind of stuff. Obviously, that was a very offensive, and she did not like it one bit. So when she went ahead and decided to go ahead and steal Calvin Evans's beakers, he was all like, yeah, you're a secretary, get out. She was like, I'm a chemist. And then he realized his mistake, and after he, vomited on her in public in the theater because he was sick, they went ahead and they went back to his house together, and then they went ahead eventually realized that they had a lot in common. They both had terrible fathers. They both had terrible mothers, for that matter, or at least he believed he had terrible mothers, because his only parents that he actually knew about were adopted, who were the ones who adopted him, and they died. What else do we have? Not much else. I'll tell you that. Not much else. What we did eventually get, though, is that we learned that Calvin Evans had a very big string of history of getting a bunch of unreliable stuff. And because of all this unreliable stuff, this just wasn't happening towards him. And then he met pretty Elizabeth Zott. And then Elizabeth Zott said this, and they both decided and agreed on that this was a business-only relationship. Nothing higher, nothing lower. And what came out of this? Nothing. Nothing really happened and came out of this. They went ahead and actually acted like they were business all. It was also, and they would describe each other as also business, like not even going ahead and helping out, even when I did have that ton of books on me. And then one day they just decided that, hey, you know what? Forget this. No business stuff. Bye-bye. And then, well, love happened. Chemistry happened. Actual, like, chemistry. Like, there's chemistry between you, that kind of stuff. Chemistry. That went on for a while. He went ahead and proposed to her. That went very badly because, well, she was like, I can't marry you. I can't marry you. That will just go ahead and have a terrible influence on me. And he was like, yeah, okay, scrap that. That ain't happening now. But then they kept the relationship going. She being taught rowing by him, meaning because she really hated sports in general, or probably because she only believed she did some of the few things women actually did. Like, hey, we don't exactly do sports. We're not that strong, which unfortunately biologically is true. Biologically, men are stronger than women, except on some certain occasions, but those are mutations and those are rarely spread about. I could go on droning on and on about everything else, but I already told you so much about the summary. I told you pretty much like the first quarter of the book already, and like it's 7 minutes already. But what can I say about lessons in chemistry about this? Well, what I will say though is that I won't spoil the book more. This will be the rest of the book is about the TV show and stuff, but I know that you guys will probably think that, hey, this is a summary video. Yeah, no, it's not a summary video. It's not that. This is a review book. Now, this review I want to tell about this book is that I really, really hate to have finished it. At least I wish for a sequel, mainly because of the ending being a little bit very beneficial towards the women, to the feminist movement in like the early 1960s. Having a woman finally having her own personal lab, that's awesome. But you'll probably have no idea what I'm talking about until you read the whole book. So what do we learn in the end? We learn a lot of things. Women are powerful. Women can do their things. Women can go ahead and take care of themselves. No matter what men would like to believe, women aren't just dolls to be played around with. Women are humans in their own right. They aren't inferior in some way, and they aren't just some people who go ahead and yeah, you know what? I don't want to do work. I'm too lazy. I'm a woman. Let the man do it. No. Some, for some reason, do that, which Elizabeth Zott cannot understand. Why would women want to go ahead and get themselves caught up in this lie? Why? But then she went and used her TV show to go ahead and make this feminist movement an actual real thing. I would say that if this was real, I would have enjoyed it a lot. And I really hope that this was real, and then I searched online and realized that there wasn't exactly a real-life Elizabeth Zott. Or if there is, I am not notified of it, because I am from the Gen Z, Gen Alpha generation. So, what do we get from this? What do we learn from this? What's the big story behind this? What's the big moral behind this? Not really, it's just a chronicle of how women are just really powerful. In fact, most novels are like that. Some people go ahead and say that, hey, I understand this because it's like this. Well, probably the author didn't even intend to put it in there. The author probably just said, hey, you know what? I think that today I'm going to do it like this. I think today I'm going to like put this hidden meaning here. Unless they explicitly say it out, I really hate to put these themes that the author never explicitly stated out, especially lessons in chemistry. It was definitely about the feminist movement, yes. It was definitely about chemistry, yes. How some woman in the science field went ahead and put up a bunch of women into the stage, saying that women are as strong as men are. In fact, sometimes they are stronger because there's this quote in Captain America where the doctor who gave Steve Rogers his super soldier serum said the weak are usually the one who understand strength the best. And I believe that this is true. Women have been oppressed for a very long time, so they now understand how they can use this power better because they've practiced it, how they would get it, and how they would use it. And see how it could be used even better than men could, because men are very as much as I hate to admit it, because I'm male myself, men are very stupid sometimes. Not all men, but men in general in those days could think that they could get away with anything that they did to a woman. And that's it. That's it. I hope you will read this, even if there are some uncomfortable things, but in the end, it's a very self-satisfying book. And so until the next time we meet, Shihana, peace. Bye bye. The way she makes coffee in the book is incredible.